So He Was There is a song I wrote about 2 years ago. I think I started really falling in love with these women characters in the Bible, and throughout my process and my journey of healing, really trying to just let God do His work on me and sort of rid me of any, I guess, residue of guilt or shame. I really clung to these stories, and so it became the inspiration for writing the song. If you look at each of the verses, say for instance in verse 1, it's pretty obvious that we're talking about the woman who had been bleeding for 12 years, and she was in so much pain, and Jesus walked through her town, and knowing that He was there, she had to go out and she had to see Him, but there was such a large crowd that she couldn't get to Him, and she said, if I could just touch the hem at His feet, then I will be healed. The beautiful thing that happens next, which is Jesus turns around and He says, who touched me? And He looks at her and He basically says, you're healed because you believed. You just had so much faith that even just touching the cloth that I'm wearing was going to heal you, and that's faith. Each of them have their own sort of connecting chorus. So the verse will have the connecting chorus in chorus 1, which is you're healed because you believed. And then of course in the second chorus, it relates to the second verse and so on and so forth. But really it's just about how beautiful Jesus is. And that's sort of the connecting factor in all 3 or almost 4 or 5 of these stories, because the bridge goes into 2. So I think that just saying He was there, He was beautiful is so strong, and it's so descriptive of really what they felt, of really what they experienced, just knowing that Jesus is beautiful and He was there. Not just He was there present, but He was there for me. He was there intentionally. As I go into the second verse, you'll see the same thing, and this is probably the more popular story. It's the one that's told all the time. It's the one you see in movies, a really beautiful scene of just Mary Magdalene, I think we think she is. She was about to get stoned for adultery, and He said, whoever has not sinned, cast the first stone. And there was a lot of Pharisees and just self-righteous people who were about to stone her, and He made them stop. And it was just such a beautiful instance of forgiveness, and it was such a beautiful instance as well, I think, of healing. I think she was in the dark for so long, and finally it just stopped. I think shame a lot of the times looks like darkness. I see it as just this dark cloud hovering over you that you can't get rid of, and no matter where you go, it just follows you. I think in that moment she was able to release that, and she was able to just look to Jesus as not just her healing, but really the one who takes away her shame. In the bridge, it's sort of a quick little shout out, I guess, to 2 women who have sort of shorter stories, but I think they're still so instrumental in showing who Jesus is, and also seeing their pain and seeing what they were willing to do to really just love on God and to love on Jesus. And the first one is, of course, the Samaritan woman at the well, who's had 5 husbands, and Jesus just sees right through her, and she's like, wow, He must be the Messiah. And finally she tells the entire town about what He's done and how He's the one that they've been waiting for, and she believes in that second that He is her King, that He is her Savior, and she gives her life. And I guess that's why you hear the line, I gave you drink from the well, because Jesus had asked for some water while she was at the well, but in exchange she got springs of living water. She got the kind of water that would never run out, and that is just life with Jesus. And finally, this woman comes in and she pours this alabaster jar of perfume, which was so expensive. I think it was 300 denarii at the time, and she pours it over His head or His feet. It was worth probably a year's wages. This woman was probably not rich at all. She was poor, and back in the day, women weren't really given any sort of right or privilege unless they were royal. Of course, everyone around starts complaining, saying that's a waste of money, that's a waste of perfume, and He shushes and silences everyone again with just one sentence or just one line where He says, this is a beautiful thing she's done for me, and she's preparing me for my burial, as of course He was foreshadowing His crucifixion to come. If I were that woman, I see myself in all of those women, but I think when I place myself in her shoes, I can definitely understand why she would want to give her all, why she wanted to give her everything, because at that point she had already known who Jesus was. She knew that He had come to save her, had come to save all of mankind, and this was the least of what she could do, but it was all that she could give. For all the women out there who may still be struggling with any kind of pain, shame, or guilt, I just would encourage you to really, really lay it down at Jesus' feet and really let him come in and do a beautiful work in you, because he's right there. He was there in the past. He was there for me. He's never not going to be there. He's just always going to be there. So I hope you got a little bit more insight into the song, and of course I hope that you can stream it, download it. I really just want this song to bless people, and in a way I guess women especially, because I think Jesus really just, for once and for all, sort of clobbered the whole sexist agenda back then, and he was the first to really break that once and for all, and to give women a platform and to give women a voice. So please stream or download He Was There. Share this video if you like, and I hope that you can just relate to this. Just see all the beautiful things that Jesus is doing for you even in this time.